Hello, welcome back to The Cars, Our Small Town Life. Now today we are actually in Union County at Morganfield, and behind us here is the old Morganfield Presbyterian Church. It has now been closed, obviously. You can tell from the looking at the side there that they've got some damage here, so they no longer have services meeting here. I can remember back in 1995 when I was at the First Baptist Church right next door. We had to come over here and use their sanctuary when we were putting in a roof in our sanctuary, because for some reason people didn't like the fact that bats were swooping down on them during the worship services when we were trying to have services at First Baptist Church. So I have some fond memories of this building. It's really sad to see that it has now been closed and they no longer have services here. You know, a lot of people would look at this situation and say, well, I guess God isn't there anymore. And yet, we sometimes forget that, yes, God is omnipresent. He is present everywhere. And I want to kind of stop now and think about what I just said. I want us to think about where we are right now as a community, as a state, as a nation, as we continue to go through this coronavirus and the quarantine associated with it. I know that it has been very hard on a lot of you who are listening to this right now. I know some of you are facing some very severe financial situations because of it. Others of you have had your lives completely disrupted, and it has been very difficult to juggle and to work with children and families and jobs and everything else that goes along with the quarantine. And I know that some of you has actually lost loved ones. And I know that in the midst of it, it's real easy to sit and say, where is God in all of this? And yet, God promised us that He is always with us. In fact, when Jesus was born, He was given the name Emmanuel, God with us, showing and demonstrating that God is with us. It's a question now of where is our faith as we go through this? Do we believe that God is with us, or do we believe that He has abandoned us? Just like people would look at this building and say, God has abandoned this church. And that's so far from the truth. I want to challenge you all to look at this. When you see this word, or these words, what do you read? For most of us, we look at this, and I will be honest with you, the first time I looked at this, my mindset was in a place where the first thing that I saw was, God is nowhere. Because we can become so focused on our circumstances that we fail to see that God is actively present in our lives, even through these hard times. So maybe what we need to do is look at it one more time and see the words, God is now here. God is with you. If you think for a moment that He doesn't see the circumstances that you're in, then you need to think again. God knows every detail of your life. He knows every need that you have. He knows every want that you have. And He is with you as you go through this. I think one of the hardest things for us as Christians to go through is that time when we wonder why God is silent, why God is not speaking to us, why is God not showing us or displaying His presence? Why is He not acting on my behalf or on our behalf or on behalf of His people or on behalf of this nation? And yet, God is trying to teach us something in the silence. He's teaching us the hard way, the only way that most of us can truly learn how it is to truly rely on Him, to truly trust in Him, is when we go through these times. When we go through the difficult times and we wonder, where is God? And then when we get to the end of it, we look back and we see how God was with us every step of the way. how he provided for us, how he watched over us, how he protected us, how he wept with us, how he lived every single moment of those hard times with us. Because God is now here. If there's anything that I can get you to hold on to in the next few weeks, it's to hold on to God's promise when he says, I am here. It's much like what Jacob had to realize. When Jacob was going through a very hard time and he had to flee from his family because his brother was trying to kill him and he had to leave, he went as he was fleeing and had a vision of God. And it was a vision of angels going up and down the stairway to heaven. And when he awoke, he said, surely the Lord is in this place, and I was not aware of it. That comes from Genesis 28, verse number 16. The thing I want you to hold on to is to be aware that God is in this place. God is in this place. He's in your place. He's in my place. He is with you, and he is with me. And he will walk with us through these trying times. Hold on to that promise. Hold on to that faith. I challenge that to you this week. Well, thank you for listening to what we have to say today. Remember to like us on Facebook at The Cars, Our Small Town Life.